Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Easy Relaxation Podcast. Throughout the episodes we're going to experiment with different relaxation, meditation and visualization techniques to easily relax us as much as possible. For this first episode, we're going to use it to get used to becoming conscious of our environment. Now, this technique works nicely if you're fairly new to meditation, because it's an easy way in to develop the necessary attention skills that you might need to take your relaxation techniques further. For example, when you need to focus on a particular object, it's quite nice to have a gentle introduction, if you like, to what bringing your attention onto something feels like. So what I'd like you to do first of all is just find somewhere where you can sit comfortably. This could be indoors, it could be outdoors. Outdoors is nice, but indoors is good also. So just get comfortable. You want to be sure that you're not going to be disturbed. And also, obviously, you don't want to be doing anything during this particular meditation except bringing your attention on the meditation. So first of all, I'd like you to allow your eyes to look around whatever environment or space that you're sitting in. You need to try to avoid thinking specifically about what you're seeing while you do this, or analysing what you're seeing. You're simply looking. And what that involves is you taking all of those shapes, those objects, the colours, basically everything you see in your immediate environment. And in addition to that, also looking for any relationships physically those objects might have in terms of where they are situated, or subtle effects that might be as a result of that object and their environment. For instance, shadows, or how the light catches the objects, or maybe how it alters the shape. And you want to do that for everything you see in your immediate surroundings, including any empty space, but again, not trying to define anything, either by analysis or thinking. Again, you're just purely looking and experiencing. Now, because you're getting, or you're exploring your total environment, as part of this process, of course, it's really important that you look around. You look up and down and from left to right. The object is not to specifically focus on one thing in particular for a long period of time. You're experiencing the whole environment. The other thing to try and do is for that whole environment is to approach it with a beginner's mind, as if you're seeing it for the first time. Don't try and label or judge anything you see. If you do happen to just slip into thoughts or analysis in your mind, just try to gently let them go. And I'm going to give you a few more moments to do that. Now, what I'd like you to do is switch your attention to your hearing. This time round, you're going to be focusing on sounds. Again, without trying to label them, identify them or analyse them in any way. Again, you're just trying to experience the sounds of your environment in totality. And again, just notice those sounds in the same way that you were previously just looking. And just take a moment to experience that feeling of just listening. Without judgment, analysis, or any thought about the sound. You want that experience of the sounds around you. Now let us move on to just how it feels physically for you to be in that environment. What I'm talking about is the tactile sensations. And that can be any warmth that you might feel from the environment. Anything you can feel in terms of, say, a breeze or a flow of air, or the feeling that you get of actually sitting or resting on something. So whatever surface you're sitting or resting on, how that feels against you. And again, explore those sensations without judging them or analysing them or thinking about them, but just experiencing them. And again, we can have a little time to enjoy that. Now, onto the final bit. What I would like you to try and do now, because this is all about fully experiencing the environment as a whole, is to try to take those sights, those sounds, and the sensations and experience them all together. And again, try not to let any thoughts, any judgments, any analysis intrude. Just the pure experience of the sights, the sounds, and the sensations. I'll give you a minute or two to just try and bring those all together. So now, what I would like you to do is to just think about what sort of effect the experience you've just had has had upon you. Do you feel any different now since having that experience? Do you have a sense of unity or harmony with your environment? How do you now relate to your environment? There are no right or wrong answers. In effect, what you're doing here is saving the analysis until the end. And the analysis is the analysis of the effect of that experience on you. So think about how you relate to that environment from an experience point of view, and whether or not anything has changed. And it's helpful, particularly if you're going to repeat this process several times, to just make a note in your notebook so you can go back to it and see how things may or may not have changed. Again, there's no right or wrong to this. It's another example of noticing. Thanks for listening. Have a great rest of the day. Bye for now.